Today I'm talking to Harry Stebbings, the venture capitalist who's interviewed more than 100
Okay, I'm live right now. I'm still at I'm still in the hospital, bro. So I'm live. I'm still in the hospital. Wow, bro. But I need to continue posting every single day, going live every single day because I want $1 million at the end of the year, bro. That's the reason why I go live every single day, no matter what. So even if I'm in the hospital, no matter bro, no matter, I will go live because I want $1 million, and I will fight for my dreams. So for today, I need to apply what I learned from the previous stream, from one of the past streams that we have so watched, about how to grow to social media, how to grow your YouTube channel. I'm so sorry if there's a lot of noise, but I'm in a hospital right now, so I'm trying my best right now. But for now, I prepare another video, but I will put the counter right here. Here. Wait. Right here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go, bro. I prepare another video because if I want to start a shoe brand, I need to know how billionaires got rich, bro. The strategies they use, what they applied in their business, and all those things. I need to know all those things before starting my own shoes brand, bro. Right now, I still DMing business owners until I can get some customers. But for now, I'm preparing to start a shoe brand. So I choose these specific videos from Simon Squibb. He asked 107 billionaires how they got rich. Billionaires, not millionaires, bro. Wow, boom, mind blowing. Billionaires, not millionaires. I don't just want $1 million. I want $1 billion, bro. I want $1 billion. I'm sure that I want $1 billion. That's the reason why I choose this video. Let's watch it. Let's see if we can learn something from this video. And let's watch the video.
billionaires and uncovered exactly how they got rich.
Harry sat down with everyone from Sam Altman to Nick Storonsky to some of the richest founders on the planet.
And in this video, Harry's going to break down the real ways billionaires build wealth, why you should never chase money, and why failure to take the first step will keep you poor forever.
So let's find out in the next
I think that the reason why you get poor is because you think poor. You think like a poor man, bro. You think, oh, I'm poor, bro. I can't make more money. Huh? I can't get a job. I can start a business. That's the reason why you stay poor, because you need to change your fucking mindset, bro. Wait. Wait a minute. Okay, let's continue watching this video.
29 minutes, what actually separates the people who win from everyone else.
Harry, thanks for being here. Off camera, we were just talking about you're 19 years old and you made £1.5 million. Can you talk a little bit about that quickly before we get into all the lessons you're going to teach us today?
Yeah, I mean, I very clearly remember my mother telling me that she had MS. And she'd had MS for about 5 years before, but the MS medication was like $750,000. And I had this, useless podcast at the time, which had no listeners, and we can get to the importance of persistence. And I thought, gosh, how do I leverage this to make money to pay $750,000 when I made no dollars? And I went up to my bedroom, I emailed 25 of the biggest CEOs in technology, and I said that their biggest competitors wanted to sponsor the podcast, but I was a fan of their product instead. Would they like to take it? I priced it at $95,000 each, just under the $100,000 procurement budget, and I got 19 of them say yes, they would love to, and that was $1.75 million in 24 hours.
That's unbelievable, and a great lesson about, frankly, creating FOMO and sales. See, I think sales should be taught in schools. I think sales, like anything, is just a process.
School misses the two most important things, which is sales and public speaking. Totally agree with you. And also personality.
That's totally right, bro. Sales and public speaking. We need more schools that teach the kids sales and public speaking, bro. Wow.
Everyone wants to work with someone who they like. And so at the end of every single email, I'd put, P.S. I know that Macallan 75 is your favorite whiskey. I'd love to have one with you when you're next in London. The minute that you add that, you literally treble your chances of getting a response.
It's
in London. Macallan 75 is your favorite whiskey. I'd love to have one with you when you're next in London.
Important, a personal touch increases your chances of building strong relationships.
The minute that you add that, you literally treble your chances of getting a response.
It's effort, isn't it? I think
just a little that.
I will take notice about that, bro. I'm so sorry if I watched this part a lot of times.
You literally treble your chances of getting a response.
It's effort, isn't it? I think
just a little bit of it.
The people I've hired that have messaged me on things like LinkedIn have actually understood what I'm trying to do and then brought some value in the actual message they send me. So they're not just like, hi, Simon, I'd like to work with you because I can learn a load, which is great, but also that's just taking from me. It's such an important lesson in sales, isn't it? The detail, the attention to detail and everything is important.
And so few do it. If you want to win, be a purple cow.
Yeah, of course. I love that whole thing.
Be different.
Yeah.
It is so important.
So you have interviewed, is it 107 billionaires?
Yeah.
So first of all, how did you manage to get 107 billionaires? Is it a similar thing, just persistence?
Cold emailing. Doing good cold emails is a real art. They need to be short, they need to be concise, they need to have a clear ask, and they need to be personal. And then you use social validity. They need to be concise, they need to have a clear ask, and they need to be personal. A real art. They need to be short, they need to be...
Okay. Cold emails. Lesson 1 number 1. They need to be short.
Concise. They need to have...
Need to be concise.
A clear ask, and they need...
Clear ask.
Need to be personal, and then...
And personal. Perfect.
They need to have a clear ask, and they need to be personal. And then you use social validity as your weapon, which is, I just interviewed Richard Branson, and I would love to have you on the show. Who is not wanting to be tied to the brand of Richard Branson in the same caliber? Very few entrepreneurs. It's like, okay. And so I use social validity as a weapon to encourage people that it was a good and strong environment that they wanted to be associated with.
I had the same.
Right now we're 98 subscribers, so if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I need your help in order to make $1 million. I only have just 1 year, 365 days to make $1 million. Right now, I only have 347 days. That means 11 days, 11 months, 12 days, and 3 hours to make $1 million. So I need your help. Please subscribe.
When I started Fluid, I rang up a company. I started this agency. No one knew it. And I said, hi, I'm Fluid. I'd love to work with you. And they said, no, sorry, we're busy. So I ran back and said, hi, I'm working with CNN. And I would love to work with you. And they went, oh, you're working with CNN? Sure. Okay, come on in. So you just have to use that social proof. Some people don't like sales because they think it means sneaky. You don't have to be sneaky about it. I think car salesman kind of vibes is what people think sometimes.
But at the end of every show, I would say to people, hey, who are 3 people that you think I should have on that would be fantastic? And the minute people commit to 3 more names, I would say, hey, if I send you an email that you can forward on to them, would you mind making the intro? When people commit to the 3 names, they're committed to making that intro. And so you always want to create flywheels in any business where one leads to more success.
Important, a flywheel is a process where output from one step feeds the next step, creating continuous growth. I'm so sorry, I'm in a hospital right now. In a hospital learning from business, bro. Interesting.
And so with every show, I got 3 more intros.
Now, you said earlier something else off camera. I want people to know this. You raised 70 million on WhatsApp. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, people might hear that and say, oh, just WhatsApp. How did you do that? So I think I know, but you share how you did it.
I mean, when we fundraise, we raise from very rich individuals and we raise from, institutions. And I would, in between sets in the gym, walk around in my 2-minute breaks and I would message individuals, this was, and say, hey, I'm going out to raise a new fund and I'd love to have you in. And they would come back with, count me in for $1 million or count me in for 2 million. What people don't see is the 10 years of relationship building before that. But the most important lesson from that actually is I always want people off email. Get people off email. People want to work with people who they like. And so at the end of calls, meetings, I always say, Simon, I'm terrible at email. Let's jump to WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And then at the weekend when I'm walking with my mum, I'll send a photo of me and mum eating a donut.
You always need to create relationships in order to grow, bro. That's one lesson that I learned when I was a road operator. You always need to create relationships. I meet a lot of people and that helped me grow, bro. A lot. So create relationships.
And I'll say, God, loved our meeting this week. Next time you've got to join us on our walk. People resonate with people. And so I build those relationships on WhatsApp unlike anyone else.
I think I've been building a relationship with you for 13 years. So we actually first met, people might not even know, my audience is quite young, they might not know Periscope. Yeah. Right. I remember 13 years ago, I was hiking in Hong Kong. Periscope was was the first live product. And I was live in Hong Kong and you came on my Periscope and you stood out instantly. You were, I love this, Simon. You know, I'm launching a podcast. I'd love to have you on. And I feel like for 13 years, I've been following you ever since. And your rise and what you've done has been an inspiration. Oh. Do you remember that?
I do actually, but I mean, wow, it takes me back. I remember Periscope and Meerkat were the two live streaming products at the time, and so I absolutely do remember that. But God, that takes me back. I was so
important lesson. You watched what Simon has done, bro. He put this. My book, What's Your Dream, contains everything I've learned to help you build your dream life. Link in the description to order. Blah 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 blah. One important lesson that Simon teaches us was that if you create the best content possible, you can sell in the middle of your content, and people don't care, bro. That's a very important lesson, and probably you get a new customer. It's simple as that, bro. Probably you can get a new customer. Don't be afraid to sell, bro.
Following you ever since, and your rise and what you've done has been an inspiration. Oh. Do you remember that?
I do actually, but I mean, wow, it takes me back. I remember Periscope and Meerkat were the two live streaming products at the time, and so I absolutely do remember that. But God, that takes me back. I was so embarrassing in how I did so many things back then. I was so effusive with, you're the greatest entrepreneur I've ever met, and da-da-da.
You didn't say that to me. I don't remember that, to be honest, but yeah.
But the point of that is, like, people look at the successful people today and think I could never be that. It took years of hard work to get there. And actually, you have to go through prolonged periods of not being very good before you get to a stage. And that's why people don't start. And so what I say is just take the first step and you're better than 99% of people. It's like going to the gym. No one goes to the gym and it's like, treadmill, I love you, old friend. It's uncomfortable, it's hard, but by showing up every day, you get better and better.
People listening to this podcast might be like, well, you know, Harry's got a big following. Of course, he can WhatsApp people and get money. And that's why I like your 19-year-old story, because you didn't have a big following.
Did not have a big following at all, and I leveraged ego and insecurity of famous people and successful people to make money.
It wasn't just you wanted success, you needed it. I think that's the only flip switch that people need to have.
One important thing is that need move more than passion. You can be very passionate about something, but if you are in need of something, that is more powerful, bro.
You didn't just want £1 million for the sake of it. You needed it. 100%. So that's why it had to happen.
But I also saw my family lost. My grandparents lost their house to bailiffs, and they come and they give you a bag and they say put all of your items in it, and you have 20 minutes to vacate the house, and then we're taking the house. And you look at your family standing outside of a house that you've always had throughout your childhood, and you realize the importance of money actually. And money is security, money is stability, money is memories. And I just looked at it and I thought, there is no way I am ever going to let anyone...
The problem isn't money, the problem is the people who manage that money, bro. The money is necessary, you need money, and money is important. If someone tells you that you don't need money is not important for me, money is not the most important thing. Obviously it's not the most important thing, but it's not one of the most important things. Is lying, bro, because you need money. The problem isn't money, the problem is the people who manage that money.
Put my family in this position again. And like, honestly, Simon, why have I done well so far?
With this lesson, use your pain as a foil to create an unbreakable drive to succeed. that's the reason why if you have watched Simon's videos, Simon's asked people and always is like, okay, what's your biggest pain? What's the thing that you enjoy the most? But what was your biggest pain? It's because you can create a company, you can create something, you can create a business to help others with that pain, bro. Because probably other people have the same pain that you had. So your pain is a foil.
The most hungry, aggressive, unwilling to lose person in this business.
I hope we got your eyes just then. I saw it, and I saw it in your eyes. Yeah, but I also think you're doing things the right way. You're really patient. See, I see people rise up really quick. They drop really quick. I actually think there's something really powerful in very gradual growth.
100%.
And that's so underestimated in this world where you hear headlines of people raising big money and all these things. Talk a little bit about your journey from 19 till now.
The decisions that you make will determine the outcomes that you achieve. And I think
And also we saw that in one of the previous streams of Dan Martel's videos that you can was something like you can punish yourself for the work you haven't done, bro.
very much that everyone's decisions can be improved by one simple framework, which is choose someone whose life you respect and admire and you would like to have. I have the person Pat Grady. He's the head of Sequoia, which is the best fund in the world. Phenomenal husband, phenomenal father, phenomenal investor. I would like to be Pat Grady. Whenever I husband, phenomenal father, phenomenal investor. I would like the world.
Model your actions after someone who has the life you want. Okay, important lesson. Perfect.
I would like to be phenomenal husband, phenomenal father, phenomenal investor. I would like to be Pat Grady. Whenever I have a hard decision, I simply think, what would Pat do in this decision? And it governs a lot of my actions. That has been very helpful to me in sustaining longevity when you could have chosen quick wins. I also always think would I be happy for this to be printed in the New York Times? There's a lot of things that you can do to get a quick win, to make money quickly, but maybe you're not so happy to have it broadcast. Don't do it. Reputations are burnt.
How you make your money matters more than how much money you make.
Yeah.
The reputation, I think, is such an undervalued. I've been in a room with really successful people that have discounted someone because of their reputation, and they don't even know the opportunity they missed.
Totally. I've also spent so much time with billionaires, and I know one happy one. I've also
because of their reputation, and they don't even know the opportunity they missed.
Totally. I've also spent so much time with billionaires, and I know one happy one out of the 107. And so what I've learned...
Want to name them?
No. But my lesson there actually is like, and this is like another lie. People do not talk enough about money. Money absolutely makes you happy. Bullshit that it doesn't. It buys security, it buys stability, it buys freedom. It absolutely does.
Again, this is really hard for my audience who are young who are starting out on their journey to grasp this. But I think that you understand what you've said there. The way I translate it is like, only take advice from people whose life you want.
Yes.
So make sure before you idolize a billionaire's life, go hang out with Elon Musk if you can and just see, because I don't want that life. I don't want that life.
100%.
So if you're going to copy everything he says, you're going to end up, if you're lucky, inverted commas, having his life. In fact, your parents are giving you advice. If their life is what you want, take it. But if it's not, question it.
100% right. I completely agree. And I look at my mentors today, and they are people whose lives that I want and I respect. You should aggressively chase making your first million.
Important lesson for your first $1 million. The first million is the hardest, but after that, opportunities multiply. Okay, oh bro, wow, what a powerful lesson, because right now I'm trying to make my first $1 million, bro. But I know when you make your first million, the second is inevitable, bro. When you make your first million, the second is inevitable. When you make your first million, the second is inevitable. The first million is the hardest, but after
more than anything else, because the hardest to make is your first million by far. And also the world makes richer people get richer. I see this now. I'm fortunate that I have, the posh banks that look after our money, and I get higher interest rates. I get better investment products. I get access
I'm so sorry, I'm in a hospital right now, guys. I'm so sorry, but that one taught me to learn and apply and try to make $1 million. Today is day number 19 trying to make $1 million, and I'm going to fight for that dream.
things that most other people can't. And having seen my grandparents have no money, and my grandfather shovels gravel on a golf course for $12 an hour, like seeing that, and then seeing the fact that I get access to some of the investment products that I do that no one else does because I have money, it feels wrong, but the world is unfair and wrong. And so my advice would be like chase the first million, because it unlocks so much more than you could anticipate.
Just you saying it makes me want to chase it. You got that thing like chase it. How would you do it if you were 19 today with it?
If you are watching this in the future, probably for now I have 0 viewers. In the future, 1 billion viewers, 3 billion viewers. I will have more subscribers than Mr. Beast have, and fight for your first million, bro. Chase that first million.
AI world, a phone in your hand, you've got Wi-Fi, you're in a job you hate. What would you do?
Single biggest thing, I would specialize, and I would focus on a specific niche, and then I would interview.
That's very important, because a lot of people don't choose a specific niche, and that's the problem. And one important lesson that we can take a closer look is Gymshark. Gymshark specializes in a specific niche, and then they expand to other niches. But they start with a specific niche, bro. If you choose a specific niche, that doesn't mean that in the future you can expand to other niches.
The biggest leaders in that niche, and then I would broadcast what I'm doing.
How can I apply this to my personal brand? In my personal brand, my marketing brand, probably I choose calisthenics, or probably I can choose what else, bro? calisthenics or nutritionist or something like that. And with the shoes brand, runners, people that like to dance, dancers, bro. I specialize in that niche.
Example, I met an incredible young woman the other day, and I did a Simon Squibb. I said, what would you like to do? Really, what's your dream? Because I don't think this job is. She's like, I don't know. And I said, well, what do you like doing on your day off? It's a great question to ask to unpack what someone's dream is. What do you like doing on your day off? She said, I love shopping. And I said, why do you love shopping? And she said, I love brands. And I said, that's really interesting. Why do you love brands? And she said, because I love going in and I love feeling the different materials of the different products and comparing them between brands. I said, that's really interesting. Why? And she's like, because some are really shitty quality but super expensive. And I'm thinking, how much do they make on that?
Right.
And some are really good quality. And I'm like, God, they can't make much on that. And I was like, why didn't you interview the biggest CEOs of the biggest fashion brands and talk to them about the business of fashion, the supply chains, the margins, how much stores cost? There is a business that easily in year one is a 10 million a year business. What am I talking about? Interview the biggest CEOs of the biggest fashion houses. It's a huge audience. It is absolutely killer and no one does it. Specialize, focus on a small niche, publish, do it in public.
And follow something that you enjoy doing, linking to a
Okay,
good business
perfect.
model.
That's an important lesson. Do it in public. Please, guys, take notes, please.
100%.
It's not rocket science, is it?
But also, you don't need to have a good business model on day one.
No, that's
when I started the podcast, I didn't know that you could make money from software companies paying you to be in their show.
Just
I didn't.
start. One of my favorite quotes goes like, "Dream big, start small, but most of all, start, bro. Start. You just need to start. Start."
Know that you got paid to speak at events. I didn't know that you get all of these different revenue streams. When we started, YouTube didn't pay creators. And so you don't have to have it all figured out. I think life is a little bit like a marathon, which is like if you tell yourself you're running a marathon, 42K is a lot to get your head around. If you tell yourself you're running 5K, you can always do the next 5K. Unlock life in its next milestone.
And that's why I think starting young is quite important, because you can take more risk when you're young, which is why, I know we're both on the same train with this. Like, university for 90% of people is a waste of time.
Totally.
4 years of your life. Forget the money you can waste at university, but those 4 years...
But that depends, guys. That depends if you study law or if you study to be a scientist or something like that. Only matter for specific careers. But if you want to create an app, you don't need university. You just need to study. You just need to learn how to code in order to create an app.
of these, you can sleep on a couch with a friend, you can stay at home for a little bit longer, you can take risk, right?
You also have the endurance. Like, it is hard work being an entrepreneur, and you will have to work insane hours. I notice this now. I mean, I'm not as old as you are, so I'm no.
You're not though, so it's not.
But I notice now my stamina at 30.
Right now, I have fewer responsibilities, bro. So I can take risks right now. What type of risks I'm taking right now? I'm going live every single day. I post every single day because right now I don't have to go to job go to the job or something like that, so I can take risks and stay all day recording videos, bro. Just because I want $1 million in just 1 year. That's the reason why I'm taking risk. I decide to take 365 days to chase my dreams, bro. That's the risk.
Is not what it was at 20. Like, take advantage of being young.
Yeah.
Stamina. At 30 is not what it was at 20. Like, take advantage of being young.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being naive.
People don't know what they don't know.
But the biggest problem with the UK is that we are negative. Positive visualization is everything. I never doubted that this would work. And this sounds arrogant, but I always knew I would be successful. It never dawned on me that it wouldn't work. And when you visualize something, you make it happen much more likely, downside and upside. And I think the trouble with the UK is you say an idea and we go, oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. And in America, we say that's going to work. We need much more positive visualization in the UK.
How would you go about making that a reality in the UK? Do you think there's a fix?
Yeah, I do. It was why I started Project Europe, which is a $10 million fund, which gives 200 grand to incredibly young people to do unreasonably ambitious things. We need more people to say yes to crazy dreams.
Do you think people listen?
Just crazy dreams, bro. My dreams to create a world of impossibles, to go to the moon, to go to Mars, to ride a unicorn, to climb the Everest, to climb the Eiffel Tower, to make 1,000 true friends, to travel around the world with a race around the world, bro. That are my dreams, to fight a dragon, to do all that stuff, all that stuff that seems impossible. How do you want to fight a dragon if dragons doesn't exist, bro? That's the point. I created a dragon. I don't know, bro, but I believe in the impossible. I believe that the impossible can be done. That's why that's the first thing on my list. To make
Does it
$1 million.
always have to be a crazy dream?
It does not need to be a crazy dream if you want to open a...
Don't need to be a crazy dream. Just need to be a dream, bro. Like, to be an actor is one of my dreams. Yeah, and isn't very crazy. It's just to be an actor, bro. It's simple. It's a simple dream, or a simpler dream. Let's look for a simpler dream. To be a lawyer or a pilot. I don't know, bro, but it is a dream. You just need a dream. Don't need to be a crazy dream. Just a dream.
bakery and sell croissants. It's probably not like a definition of crazy. Cool.
Well, some people think that's crazy. I actually know someone that the whole family told them they were crazy because they wanted to open a bakery. But to me, that's not crazy. It's kind of an average, why not try kind of thing.
And I think snootiness is another mega problem that we have in the UK, which is like, oh my gosh, why would you go from being a physicist at Cambridge to opening a...
Okay, I'm not from UK, but I will take this important lesson. Ambition is often criticized. Learn to ignore it and think bigger, bro. Whoa, I will take a screenshot of this, bro. Whoa, powerful, bro. Bro, powerful. Ambition is often criticized. Ambition is often criticized. Learn to ignore it and think bigger. I will repeat it again. Ambition is often criticized. Learn to ignore it and think bigger.
bakery and like that's a bit beneath you. What happens if you open up the most successful bakery in London, you document it, you have amazing queues outside the corner, and then you become the next Cedric Grolet with bakeries in every city and every big country?
Well, even you just do it for a year and you realize it wasn't for you, but at least you don't live with regret.
100%.
At least you tried, right?
My biggest failures turned into my biggest successes. Getting kicked out of boarding school for being bulimic led to my entire life. I would never have started the media company if I hadn't been kicked out of boarding school. Just like think about that.
Yeah.
I would have been a mid-lawyer.
Whoa. Another important lesson. Failure teaches lessons that success never will. Embrace it early. Embrace it early. Okay, I will take note.
Well, I'm the same.
Nothing wrong with that.
Bad
but,
luck
like,
turns into good luck over time if you leverage it right.
Yeah, but that's where the individual comes in, which is like only you decide the next step. Make a positive decision. When shit happens, you can either accept it or you can progress and move on. I could have gone, fuck, I'm bulimic. I don't have a passion.
Woe is you. You
Woe is
could have taken it as a reason to not go for it.
100%. You decide the next step.
What do you think that thing is where you take it and make it positive, and some people take it and make it negative?
I think it was twofold. I think it was one, having a mentor that could actually redirect me in the right way, and I think it's two, the ability to end the day. And what I mean by the ability to end the day is like when you have a shit day, go to bed knowing, my mother always quoted Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind, which is tomorrow is another day.
Right.
Do not let the prior day impact the next day. Always come at it with a fresh mind.
I also
think
want to add that you only have one life, bro. You only have one chance to do the things, bro. Okay, not all the time, probably you have more chance, but in most cases you have one chance, one life to do the things you want to do. So take it, bro. Take that chance, bro, because you only have one life, one shot. Each day, treat each day as a reset, not a continuation of yesterday's mistakes.
woe is me, one day will lead to another series of bad days is very dangerous. Big lesson for me that I always think of is like, if you have the ability to be miserable for no reason, you also have the ability to be excited and optimistic for no reason. Embrace it.
The 19-year-old you idea there, just
And there's also a quote that goes like, cynics get to be right, but optimists get to be rich, bro. Okay, I will repeat it again. Cynics get to be right, but optimists get to be rich.
want to pick at that for a second, because what I'm tending to do when I give young people advice now is always talk about media. It's partly because I'm in media, but also, I joined TikTok when I'm 45 years old. All of my peers laughed at me. When I was on TikTok, I was around a table of other people that sold their businesses. They're all buying property and doing these things. I'm going on TikTok and sharing knowledge, and they laughed at me. Now those same people ask me how to get TikTok for their businesses working. But what I'm getting to is like, young people can't afford a house. It's too expensive. But social media, you can make one video today and get 10 million views and sell a product and make money. Like, it's the most amazing, incredible thing. I had to knock on doors when I started a business, literally. So, but you mentioned media is what you do straight away. And I think it's important just to pick at it for a second, because a lot of people will be listening like, well, I don't know how to interview. You weren't a great interviewer at the beginning, right?
I was 18. I spent $50 and I bought a microphone on Amazon, an ice ball microphone, that's what it's called. And I was a terrible interviewer. Point being, you only get good by repeatedly doing it. And it took me 3 years before.
Another important lesson, bro. The skill is built by doing the work again and again, even when you fail. And there's this famous actor that is like, okay, let me check for a second the name of this actor. Peter Dinklage. I don't know the pronunciation of this name, but it's Peter. This guy. Wait a minute. He said one of the most important things. Okay.
Ever tried? Ever failed? No matter. Try again. Fail again. Fail better. The world is yours. Treat everyone kindly and light up the night.
Wow, bro. Whoa, that aura, bro. That aura. Once fail, once fail. Okay. One more time, bro.
Ever tried?
Ever tried, ever failed. No matter. Try again, failed better. Bro, wow. That's so powerful, bro. So powerful. Fail better.
Before I probably got good. It took me 4 years before I got 1,000 plays. Simon, you've been building this media empire now.
6 years. First 3 years, nothing. I got no.
Oh, wow.
Same,
Okay. Yeah. So most people give up. This is a game of who can survive the longest. And the lovely thing about content, Simon, if you fail...
Wait. I want to
It
take
took
notes.
me...
Skill is built by doing that work again and again, even when you fail. And right now I'm thinking like I'm failing right now because I only have like one viewer or probably zero viewers. I don't know. I'm failing and I go live every single day. I only got one viewer. That's sad, but I try again. I failed, but I failed better.
3 years before I probably got good. It took me 4 years before I got 1,000 plays. Simon, you've been building this media empire now.
6 years. First 3 years, nothing. I got no.
Oh, wow.
Same,
Okay. Yeah. So most people give up. This is a game of who can survive the longest. And the lovely thing about content, Simon, if you fail, it's because no one cares. And if no one cares, no one will know that you failed.
Right.
So why don't you do it anyway?
That's a great framework for people to go and apply
So
to their
true.
lives. Yeah, and the truth is, no one gives a shit anyway. They'll laugh at you until they're no longer laughing, and then they'll be asking if they can come on your podcast. Let's take media out of it for a second. If you were 19 and you say, right, not media, any other, like AI, of course, for me, like I was sitting with a lovable developer
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, let's continue with the video.
By yesterday, we built 2 businesses in 40 minutes that could be worth tens of millions of pounds in income. It blew my mind. The kind of development side now is also, I used to think technology was going to be the barrier to entry to building businesses. I think now it's the ability to communicate, like you said earlier, ability to sell, and frankly, marketing.
It's
Marketing.
distribution.
Totally.
Distribution is
So if you can build distribution, and everybody can, it's kind of a commodity product. Anyone can jump on their phone and start creating.
Well, this is why our venture funds are doing so well right now, which is because everyone has a venture capital fund today, sadly, but not everyone has distribution. You know, I posted about one of our companies, Fixer, which is email autocomplete, and they're going to hate me for that, but it does your emails better than any other AI can do. I posted about them on LinkedIn, and they got 4 million in revenue from one LinkedIn post.
Crazy.
For an investor to bring you 4 million from one post,
Especially as most investors say they're going to bring you value, and they give you a bit of advice.
Yeah.
You know, actual value.
That's actual value, and we have data to prove it. Very valuable. And so you're moving to a world where distribution is the biggest determinant of value. But
So
by the way, for young people specifically, learn how to use specific AI tools, and you can choose whichever ones they are, and then sell those services to service providers, law firms, accountants, immigration providers, you name it.
Okay. Here's a new task. Learn about AI. Perfect.
They will pay you consulting fees to bring AI into their business. Every big firm is asking the question, how do I bring AI into my business? I don't know. They will spend consulting fees to let you introduce them to AI.
You're talking about arbitrage businesses, which I think is another big opportunity for a 19-year-old today. You go deep on how to use an AI tool, and then you approach a company who hasn't got time to go deep on an AI tool, and you bring it to them. You make them savings. You take a percentage of the savings you make. Done.
Easy.
And you bring it.
Integrating AI into existing businesses is a powerful venture for young people.
To them, you make them savings. You take a percentage of the savings.
If I wanted
you
to
make.
get rich again,
Done.
as soon
Easy. Completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And they just also, so many companies need to tick the AI box
Right.
and show to their boss. You've also got to remember that everyone is selling to someone else.
Today we're talking
They
about
need to
writing
show that they
killer
are
script.
embracing AI by hiring Simon, the 22-year-old amazing kid out of the University of Warwick who's an AI specialist. They are ticking that box.
That's the thing about social media. I also love everybody when they say social media. It's like, we've got to get someone young in. I'm like, then I can't help you then. But there is a perception, isn't there? The young people know the new stuff.
100%.
Again, people should leverage that. If you're young, you should leverage what the perception is and then make that perception true.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Altman said on a show with us that, you know, young people embrace ChatGPT. Older people embrace it as the next Google.
Right. That's so fascinating.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I will often put in WhatsApp messages from my girlfriend to ChatGPT and be like, give me an empathetic tone, but disagree.
Well, that's a good idea. You could create a whole AI just helping you with your relationship. By
It's
the
a
way.
companion for life.
You've just come up with another business idea.
100%.
Right.
There are so many. But I mean, okay, great one. Who doesn't love eating great food and great pastries? Like, very few people. The people who do TikTok reviews from their cars make a fortune.
That's true.
To your point on the beauty of content, how great is that?
Yeah, and you don't even have to be in it. They're POV, most of those, right? They're driving by a place with a queue and then they walk in POV. They don't even show their face.
Sure.
Most of the time, right? So
You know, I've been offered like 50 to 100 grand to be sponsored by brands for my walks with my mother.
oh, really?
Yeah.
That doesn't
like,
surprise me.
Like, I was pretty shocked. Like, so many brands want to sponsor us for our walks.
Yeah. Sponsorship deals. We were again talking a little bit off camera about this. I have a feeling. You know, you look at things like Facebook, it did such a great job of becoming a valuable company because it had all the attention. And then on top, apps came, you know, like Snapchat and Instagram. And again, they drawed all the attention. I think the next big platform is a creator. Because again, like, why would you promote someone else's brand if you can promote a brand you own? So, for example, I'm launching a competitor to Starbucks as part of my business model.
Starbucks?
Why would I promote Starbucks, which I don't particularly believe in? They might have the money to sponsor me. They're not paying tax in the UK. In my opinion, the product is no longer good. Why wouldn't I start my own competitor to it?
Completely agree with you.
It doesn't make sense to just take a small fee off them and then promote them, and they get the every month revenue from my marketing, right?
Completely agree with you. I think people are companies today. And that's the big transition. Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7, is a brand as big as Starbucks or Coca-Cola or you name it. He is a company. He's not a person anymore. And there is a stage where you get to where absolutely that is the case. And I think you saw it with Mr. Beast, where Mr. Beast started doing his own products. Now, I think you've got to be careful about the products that you choose. You know, Mr. Beast did Mr. Beast burgers. Bad, and he'll say this himself, bad product to choose, difficult to monitor quality, difficult time delivery.
Clever scale mechanism because he worked with outside partners, but then quality control was a problem. Right?
Exactly. And so I think you've got to choose your product well, but I 100% agree. There comes a scale where it doesn't make sense to promote someone else's if you can promote your own.
I'm a big fan of Mr. Beast. He's gone a little bit unpopular in some areas now, but I think I don't like unethical products. You could argue that, you know, launching a chocolate brand, more sugar for kids. Do we really want that? Right? I'm surprised. Burgers the same. There's an ethical thing. I think people, when they're launching their own products, also need to be a bit careful on this front.
I get you, but I'm also like, you're always going to make someone unhappy.
Maybe it's got to be true to you. Personally, I like chocolate. So anyway, but I think
so do I.
You've got to. I see it online, by the way. That's why I'm talking about it. Like, I think there is I had an agency business when I was in my 20s, and a tobacco company came and offered us £2 million a year to help them get kids to smoke. Of course, I said no. But there was a moment in business, I'm like, well, someone's going to take that work. Why don't I take it? And I can hire people. I can justify it in my head as like, well, then I can pay people more. And, you know, people have families, they have mortgages. But I think you've got to know your ethics in business. And I don't think this is talked about enough, ethics in general.
Completely. My biggest mentor, who is worth $10 billion, said to me, you are never wrong to do the right thing. And often the right thing is the hard thing.
Yeah, well, especially when it's turning away money. I think the money has become this god, hasn't it, in itself? I think I saw Gary Vee talk about this. He was like, there's deals I've turned away because they don't meet what I want, and I've lost millions of dollars. I've given people money back. He was talking in particular about, he was invited to go do a talk when he was first starting talking. He was offered $50,000 to do a talk, and he thought it's too much money. It's too much money to be paid to talk. So his mental framework was he was going to go there, do the talk, and if at the end of it, the people weren't happy, he'd give them the money back, which I thought was great. You say yes, and then do it. And then if people aren't happy, he'll give the money back. I actually think that's quite a good framework.
It's a good framework. I would just give it to a charity that I
right.
want to give it to.
Apparently they didn't complain, so they didn't ask for the money back.
That's where money's a luxury, because when you really need it, you need to take it. When you don't, we turn down most brand deals now. We don't need to take any brand deal. I don't need to have brands at all. But that comes with money. Money's a luxury, and it gives you the freedom to choose.
I'm a big believer in for-profit.
Okay, another important point. Money matters because it gives you options and control over your life. Okay, it's very important, a very important lesson, because gives you freedom, bro. That's the world. Gives you freedom. Obviously, you need more things like Jesus. You need more things like your family or any other things, but money gives you freedom, bro. Money matters because it gives you options and control over your life. There are a lot of people that say money doesn't matter to me. That's a lie, bro. Obviously, it matters to you because you need money to buy things. You need money to buy food. You need money to control your life and have options. So obviously matters. It's not the most important thing, but matters a lot.
Good businesses going forward. I think we're all talking about this rubbish thing about tax the rich. I just think it's so stupid and dumb and short-sighted. I think companies should be supporting, though. Companies should pay proper tax. Like Starbucks not paying tax in this country actually frustrates me. They're making money in this country. Frankly, Facebook making money in this country and it going off into an island system as if a transaction is happening in Ireland. I think companies should be supporting fixing the problems we have in a country. What do you think?
I get you, but then there's like logic, which is, of course, that's logical and right. And there's reality, which is what we are in today, which is if you make a harsher fiscal system for them, taxation system for them, they will move elsewhere. They will not invest in the country in the same way, and you will see a loss of investment from them. And so the biggest thing is how do we get the best companies to invest in our country meaningfully, hire people, invest in restaurants, locations, you name it. And if you do implement those taxation changes, you are going to lose them. And so I logically agree with you, but the reality is we are in a global war for talent and for companies to build businesses here. And if we make it unfriendly, sadly what you want to do, we're going to lose them.
I don't want to make it unfriendly. I know what you mean, though, and I think it's a very interesting conversation to have because people like Gary Stevens have blown up on the internet because he's got his one simple fix in his mind, right, which is tax the rich. And the weird thing is, his audience is very similar to my audience. But I'm saying take agency over your life, start something, build something. Don't let anyone give you a job. Create one for yourself, and that's the way to fix.
The best way to take control of your life is to build something you own. Like a shoe brand, the shoe brand that I'm planning to launch to get that $1 million. But not only with the shoe brand, also with YouTube and also with my marketing service. But it's one of the ways I have to make $1 million, bro. The best way to take
your own problems, right? But unfortunately, by just blaming the super rich, they will leave. I think what I'm noticing in
Gary
business...
Stevenson is the embodiment of woe is me. Also, bluntly, his financial career that he states at the beginning, love for someone to take a check that out.
Well, we know it's a lie.
Okay,
he was not
so
the most successful trader.
It was
It's
not.
a fact,
it was,
yeah.
So we know that. And then it's like, what if he was the most successful trader? Why is he selling a Patreon course to the people who he's trying to make richer?
Right.
For $99. Why don't you give it away for free?
Right.
Seriously.
Exactly. Well, why doesn't he take all the money he's making and just dish it out to people like I'm doing every day? Why not actually give back to the people he says he wants to help?
Wouldn't that be amazing? You got millions every week, give away 10 grand
Yep.
to a young person to
Yep.
start a business.
Which is what I'm doing. So he can do that. So I agree. It's a bit of a his solution to the problem he represents is subscribe to my YouTube channel. But how does that actually solve the problem? And that's my biggest issue with that type of rhetoric. So I actually love this conversation, even though we're not 100% aligned. I think there is something in between. I think when I speak to company owners, generally they want the world to be a better place. And so I think there's something in between where it's a combination of like shareholder profit, 100%. We need to make money. We need to be competitive. We need to live in a competitive world. But what can we do to make the world a better place? I love Patagonia for this particular reason. I actually think Patagonia were a more successful brand because they thought like this. What do you think?
I totally agree with that, and I always love their founder Yves Chinois, who said, I go away for 3 months of the year, and they said, well, what happens if there's like a fire in the factory? He's like, well, I'm not going to be able to stop it even if I'm there. Like, why would you call me? Like, that's useless. Don't bother. Just tell me when I'm back.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. But again, I think it goes back to the people buy people, and people buy brands that they like, and you need to stand out. And I think Patagonia having their B Corp status, which is kind of what they have to make themselves this structure, means that people resonate with them.
I'm going to call you my patient zero for What's Your Dream. You made it happen, and you made it happen with sheer willpower. And I'm so grateful you've come on this podcast today and shared your knowledge.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, we'll have to have some chicken now. We'll see you later, guys.
Okay guys, that was the end of the video. So right now I still in the hospital right now. So I think that's all for today. Probably tomorrow I will do a longer stream. I will try to do a longer stream, learning a lot, and most important, applying, because I seem like I'm learning, but never applying. I try to apply what I learned the same day I learned that, I apply that. But I think that I learned, but I'm not applying. But I'm trying to apply what I learned. So for tomorrow I will do a stream longer than this one, and I will try to apply all the information that I learned. And I think that's all for today. Right now I'm in the hospital, so I'll continue fighting. I post a new reel today. Thank you so much for this information. Simon Script there's a lot of value, bro. There's a lot of value, bro. So thank you so much for this information. And that's all for today. Thank you guys for watching, for staying with me. Probably if you're watching this in the future, I will have 1 billion viewers, 2 billion viewers, 3 billion viewers. I will have the biggest YouTube channel in the world ever. And that's all for today. I will post another reel for tomorrow, another short for tomorrow, another TikTok for tomorrow, the same one but a new one, bro. So that's all for now. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Remember, live to your fullest, bro, because at the end you only have one life, one shot.